Thanks for tuning in to Hardstone Media, where we use our superpower of hindsight to look back at movies and TV shows and explain how they could have been better. Today's video, we'll be looking at the Marvel Netflix series, now that they're officially over, and the 9 fixes that could have kept the quality stories that we saw in Daredevil and Jessica Jones' first seasons continuing throughout all the Marvel Netflix series. So the first step is, we need to decide whether these shows are part of the MCU or not. We don't want to have a half-in, half-out approach. And in my humble opinion, that decision needs to be a yes. So with that decision made, we shouldn't hide away from those connections and the MCU at large. In Daredevil Season 1, seeing the fallout from the Battle of New York, the incident, and how it changed the city was great. But after that, there was barely anything. A street vendor selling videos of superheroes, maybe mentions of the raft, but that was it. Without going into the reported differences between Marvel TV and movie arms, we know that the TV series isn't going to influence the movies. But on the other hand, the movies should influence the TV series. Events like the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra exposed, they should have huge ramifications for people with powers. Civil War and the Sokovia Accords, that would totally change the dynamics within the world that these heroes live in. And, of course, most importantly, Thanos' snap. These events create more background and depth to each series. When Jessica and Luke talk about how they deal with their powers in Jessica Jones Season 1, they could mention how the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. changed their lives. How do the Sokovia Accords affect our heroes? Who signs up? Who keeps their identity secret? And how does it impact their vigilante activities? Connecting these series with the larger MCU will create more depth and richness to the New York these series are set in. The next thing we have to do is shorten the runtime. All the Netflix series, including Season 1 of Daredevil and Jessica Jones, had episodes that felt like fillers and slowed down the momentum. These extra episodes don't affect the first 2 series as much, as the quality of the story and characters kept it interesting. But as we move into the future, this will become critical to the enjoyment of all those series. If we reduce the amount of episodes in each series, down from 13 episodes to between 8 and 10 episodes, we won't need to have these filler episodes, and we can just keep all the good stuff. This bloating is also seen in the length of episodes, in an attempt to reach a goal of making them 50 to 60 minutes long. With the flexibility of delivery that Netflix provides, episodes should be shortened to focus on getting the best story out and not filling in time. These changes would benefit all the series, including Daredevil and Jessica Jones Season 1. Now with an improvement to runtime, this allows us to focus on the main story. One thing that these series do is spend too much time with B and C storylines focused on supporting characters. This takes away the focus on the main character and the main story, slowing the momentum. With our reduced runtime, we can really focus on the core story and the character arc of our protagonist. Our supporting characters still need to be fleshed out, but any significant time spent with them needs to have a direct or indirect consequence to the main story. A major part of focusing the story is making sure we only have one main antagonist for the season. One of the main problems we saw in Daredevil Season 2 and Luke Cage Season 1 was that halfway through the series, a new antagonist was introduced, and all the tension, conflict and story that had been built up disappeared, and we started all over again. An example of this is in Luke Cage. When Cottonmouth dies halfway through the series, and then Diamondback is introduced, we lose the tension between Luke and Cottonmouth, and we never regain that with Diamondback, even though potentially they have more history and conflict. By removing Diamondback, it lets Cottonmouth flourish the whole shortened season, increasing the tension and conflict up until the finale. With these improvements, now we can look at our problem child. In step 4, finding a new Danny Rand. Yep, that's right, we need a new Danny Rand, a new actor, one that can actually fight. As you know, it's kind of important. Or optionally, make him wear a mask so a stunt double can do the work. But the second, more important change to Danny is make him Asian. Now I know some of the 7 people watching this video just lost their mind and will be getting their keyboard rage on, but just hold on and give me a minute. Changing Danny's ethnicity isn't just for representation. It's actually about enhancing the core of Danny's story, which is one of self-discovery, to find out who is Danny Rand. We need to make Danny's story more interesting and his self-discovery more compelling. Some rich white kid who becomes a kung fu master, then returns to retake his place as a billionaire, isn't very compelling in my eyes. The way we make his journey of self-discovery more interesting is by complicating it. This is done by first having Danny as an Asian child feeling like an outsider in New York's mostly white high society. This situation could be elevated even more if Danny was adopted, bringing into question his identity and legitimacy as an heir to the Rand dynasty. Next, he is thrust into a new world, Kunlun, and he again finds himself as an outsider. This is then compounded, yet again, by his return to New York, where no one believes he is Danny Rand, and even when they do believe him, they don't accept him as the rightful heir to Rand Corp, as he is an adopted Asian child. This creates many personal challenges for Danny to overcome, but he'll also need an external challenge to overcome, which brings us to step 5, giving Iron Fist a purpose. So Iron Fist series needs a plot, something for Danny to achieve. Now how can we do this? Perhaps Danny returns to New York after Kunlun is attacked by mercenaries who were sent by Rand Corp. Danny sets out to find why a company with his name is attacking Kunlun and who's behind it. This sets up his conflict with the Meachams and their operatives. A mystery to discover, and it aligns with the unravelling of his past before Kunlun. Then Davos arrives in New York to try to bring Danny back to Kunlun. This is a great opportunity to reveal his past in Kunlun and his struggles to fit in. Danny refusing to return would force Davos to take the Iron Fist from him, as we saw in Season 2. This would set up a great hurdle for Danny to overcome, and he would need to overcome his self-doubt and truly accept who he is to regain the Iron Fist and take back control of Rand Corp. In the last episode, it can be revealed that the Hand were behind Rand Corp's attack on Kunlun, which then leads us to step 5, keeping the Hand reveal until the Defenders. One of the big problems with the Defenders is that we came up against an enemy that we'd already seen twice, and those two versions were more interesting than the one we got. Daredevil and Iron Fist both give us an extensive look at the Hand, stripping away the anticipation and mystery of seeing them in the Defenders. In both Daredevil and Iron Fist, we only want teasers to their existence and what is to come, in preparation for the reveal in the Defenders. Also, some of the best story and scenes with the Hand are seen before the Defenders, including Daredevil tracking ninjas through sound and Colleen revealed as a member of the Hand. Keeping these elements for the Defenders helps grow the story of the Hand and the events that occur. Also, it would be great if they actually show ninjas, maybe like an actual army of ninjas, like we saw in Daredevil. So now that the Hand are exclusive for the Defenders, now we need a reason to unite the Defenders, and this reason is Claire Temple. So one thing I didn't understand about the Defenders was why the first few episodes needed to create 4 mini-stories that haphazardly brought the Defenders together. The most obvious thread that ties the 4 heroes together is Claire. She needed to be the reason they unite against the Hand. Much like S.H.I.E.L.D. was a unifying force behind the Avengers, Claire is that for the Defenders. I had assumed, as I'm sure all 7 of you did as well, that she would be the thread that brings the group together. Otherwise, why have her throughout all the preceding series? It makes no sense. All you need to do is have Claire get caught up with the Hand's evil scheme and she goes missing. Luke gets out of jail with the help of Matt Murdock. When he does, Claire lets Luke know Matt can help with super situations. Danny is tracking down the Hand or even helping Claire with an investigation. When Claire goes missing, Luke gets the best PI he knows. First episode, bang! The team is united. No need for random story threads, random motivations, and 3 episodes to bring them together. We only need one thread, and that's Claire. When they finally find her, I think having the Hand kill Claire would be a powerful event to incite the team to take down the Hand. Even Jessica would get behind that mission. Along the way, if Misty gets involved and loses her arm, this will again raise the danger of the Hand and increase the stakes even more. The only way we create a more interesting story is to have the Hand actually take over New York. Each series focuses on saving the neighborhood or saving themselves, but it will take all the Defenders to save the whole city. Having the Defenders take place during the events of Civil War, while all the Avengers are busy fighting each other in Europe, would be perfect. This could be the reason the Hand decide now is the time to take over New York, when there's no Avengers to stop them. After the victory of the Defenders in saving New York, we then need to look to the next phase in Step 8, where we build on those relationships established in the Defenders. Now that all our characters are friends, we can start to create different, more interesting stories rather than more of the same. We saw this start to occur in Season 2 of Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Both Luke and Danny struggle to carry a series by themselves, and Luke's character especially works best with other characters. This would be the perfect time to establish Heroes for Hire and Nightwing restorations. Another thing the Marvel Netflix series have is a lot of partner swapping and random love interests. Matt and Karen Page always looked weird to me and really weakened the Matt and Elektra story. Luke and Jessica had a great start, but it just fizzled out. This was a missed opportunity, as growing the connection between Luke and Jessica is great for both their character development and will connect the series together, rather than having Jessica hook up with a different guy every series. This could have grown as they both discover their experiments were part of the Hydra program. Building these interconnections between shows and characters makes them feel like they live in the same city. If there's a cop involved, it should be Misty or Mahoney. A lawyer, call him Matt. Investigator, call Jessica. Merging their lives allows the character stories to bleed into each other's, which creates more airtime for expanding the Marvel Netflix world. We saw the beginnings of this with Punisher Season 1, which was a great start, but growing the world and adding more characters would create variety in the stories being told. Heroes for Hire creates a new spot for the Punisher, but this could also be expanded further. This would increase the superhero roster, which may feel bloated for a while, until Thanos' snaps cleans out the herd. This would let us explore the post-snap world with the surviving characters and would lead to some big emotional moments for our characters. New characters that could have been introduced are Cloak and Dagger, Moon Knight, or we could even get into the supernatural world with Ghost Rider and Blade. So that's the 9 major fixes I believe would have helped the Marvel Netflix series keep the high quality content that we saw from the start. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.